feeling that goals might be in store if they can break through early here. Central Coast with it all to do, and the fans will prepare themselves to sing Stand By Me. Great atmosphere as Melbourne Victory's team with 3 ins, Georg Niedermeyer, Raul Baena and Elvis Kamsoba into the starting 11. It relegates Storm Roo to the bench with Corey Brown and Carl Valeri completely out of the squad. Central Coast, 5 changes, Hull, McGlinchey, Karajan, Payne and Graham all into the starting 11, with Aidan O'Neill and Kai Rolls suspended and Tom Hiarie suffering a back injury in training. Victory's bench with only the 1 switch from the Champions League, but they only named 5 of a possible 7, and that is Storm Roo onto the bench, while for the Mariners, Chabot, Murray, Mallon and Lewis Miller are all new faces on the Pine. Kevin Muscat has an imperious 13-win, 4-draw, 0-defeat record against Central Coast. Flawless against the Mariners. Alan Starcic, his second game at AAMI Park. The last time he was here was in charge of the Matildas against China on November 17, 2017. Today's referee is Chris Beath. It's his 172nd appointment, and as part of Victory's final home and away home game, it is fan day, and that's the reason we saw so many fans forming a guard on the pitch. In the VAR booth is Chris Griffiths-Jones, standing by should he be required for additional looks at any contentious incidents. There's Elvis Kamsoba, elevated off the bench from the team that lost to Guangzhou. Perhaps today is his day to really take the A-League by the scruff of the neck. And Andrew Hull, one of those 5 ins for the Central Coast Mariners. Of course, he scored a couple of great goals against Melbourne Victory up at Central Coast Stadium last time the teams met. Ola Toivonen, one of this Victory superstar contingent. There's the other one, Keisuke Honda. Just getting those legs pumping and ready to run. Players like Jacob Melling are going to have their work cut out today. Countdown on the scoreboard then, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Melbourne Victory against Central Coast. And all of the streaks remain intact for Melbourne Victory. Can they continue them here today? Can they do it in style? That's the question. Andy Harper off the back of a very heavy Champions League defeat.
Yeah, g'day, Taylor. Well, that's, I guess, the driving narrative here for Melbourne Victory. Getting straight back on the horse after the disappointments, profound disappointments of the Champions League failure to date. The Mariners present an opportunity for them with great history against the Central Coast for Victory to jump straight back into form. And of course, Sydney managing just the draw against the Wanderers last night gives the Victory the opportunity to close in again on Sydney, heat that race up again for a top 2 finish.
So Parisi wins a corner. You're spot on, it's Victory's last home and away home game. As we see the pass that threaded through Troisi to win that corner. But they are guaranteed a home final. It's just a question of whether it's going to be from 3rd or they get the week off and host from 2nd. As Honda takes the corner, and the header down from Simon will give Honda a second ball. Matt Miller guards him. Honda's cross. Toivonen facing away from the target. Andrew Hall looks to escape. Not much going for him ahead of the ball though, so he wins a throw. Clisby, who signed a new 2-year contract with Central Coast during the week. Curious timing. Might have thought it, or might have waited until the close season to decide who's coming and going, but his future is now secured. As we see the challenge here from Cam Sober on McGlinchey, and McGlinchey is much worse for wear.
That was a high boot from Cam Sober. No intent to hurt, it was to win the ball, and you can see McGlinchey trying to clear the ball has thundered into the studs of Cam Sober. The referee not with a lot of choice there, really. Unfortunate start for Cam Sober.
He shakes his head, but just the 3rd minute for a card to come out. Of course, defensive backtracking, such a huge part of his game. Going back, trying to win the ball, catch the opponent unawares. On this occasion, McGlinchey didn't see him coming. He's now right to continue. The referee's going to insist on a restart here as the trainer hadn't quite vacated the field. Jim Karajan gets us back underway. Clisby all the way back to his keeper, Ben Kennedy. This is Jonathan Aspropotomidis. We're calling Melbourne home next season. Maybe Geelong or Ballarat when he joins Western United.
Which does beg the question, now that you've mentioned his name. What's the motivation for the Mariners in playing Jonathan Aspro? Just giving him a few more games polished for Western United success next year. Very happy for him that he's been able to secure his future, but he's no longer the Mariners' future, so why do they persevere?
Of course, as we see Matt Simon here in an early dialogue with the 4th official rather than the central referee.
Ditto Matt Miller, who's going to Newcastle. I would have thought that this is a great opportunity for the Central Coast Mariners to give some promising youngsters a bit of a taste of first-team football.
Well, their NPL team drew 1-1 with Bonnyrigg yesterday. There are some intimidating away trips in football. Melbourne Victory away is one of them. Bonnyrigg away is another. Of course, it all ties up. Alen Stajcic, in his playing days, was captain of Bonnyrigg. Simon just left a boot in on Raul Baena. He's already got the ante up, Matt Simon. Playing angry from the off here. And it's that level of fight that the Central Coast Mariners need to show. Sam Graham gets a touch here that falls to the aforementioned Matt Miller. Simon against Niedermeyer. Honda to Deng to James Donachie. James Troisi. Bit of a ponderous build-up from Victory, and Mariners take the ball. This time there is a bit of forward support. Karajan to Houle. Connor Payne wants the switch of flanks, but Simon opts for Melling instead. Now the ball goes to the right and finds Matt Miller. Melbourne boy, Melbourne City player. And this is a neat 1-2. Matt Miller's in behind. And Cam Sober backtracking, all important, but then his pass keeps the pressure on. As Payne takes a shot, and already players are losing their footing at the key times.
It's a good attack from the Mariners. Beautiful switch of play by Jacob Melling. This is the back end of that. The ball to Matt Miller with a really nice give and go. He's got too much power and pace. Can't make anything of the cross in the end. And then when the ball bounces to Connor Payne, he decides there's only one option for him, and it wasn't a bad decision, just not the execution needed.
Raul Baena to Lee Broxham. Defers to Honda. It all slows down a little bit for Melbourne Victory. Honda looks up at a crowded picture. Toivonen. Deng. Counts it back to James Troisi. Scored in both games against the Mariners already this season. Barbarousis hooks it back. Jumps over the short man against two towering Mariners. Baena finds a gap where there wasn't one. And he couldn't quite slip it to Barbarouses, who was expecting the pass. And Hall is going to have to wait for some midfield support here because there's no one ahead of the ball for him. And now Matt Miller makes a run. He's going to cool it all down back to Asperpotometis. Karajan. Clisby. Melling. Cam Sober important there because Miller was making a dash. Unbelievably, though he's almost 10 metres inside his defensive half, Connor Payne was coming back from an offside position. Niedermeyer caught Broxham by surprise. Graham lunged for the ball. Troisi, Toivonen. He's got a clean channel, but he opts for Troisi instead. And that invites Ben Kennedy onto the ball.
There's some good fluency from Victory. Unfortunately for them, that pass in the end from Toivonen was just too straight. Needed more of an angle away from the goal to give Troisi a bit of a chance. But good pass and move situation. Beautifully purposeful pass from Niedermeyer. It didn't actually find its original target, but there was so much purpose behind it. Victory were able to profit from the rebound. It's been a good bright start to the match. Both teams, should be said, contributing. Mariners looking pretty sprightly on their opportunities to counter-attack as well.
Matt Simon trying to agitate again. McGlinchey with a very slow change of direction. Albain and therefore an uncontested pass. Toivonen. Troisi trying to skip by Graham. Toivonen left a boot in. And he's convinced the referee that a foul was there.
There's no question it was a foul. It's a silly one from Graham. The Mariners had that tidied up. Victory had lost control. Not through poor play, just the ball was bouncing around and it was difficult to secure. There's the arm across Toivonen. Jacob Melling's never not going to win that, but now it's a massive advantage to Melbourne Victory when there wasn't one forthcoming.
Honda focused over the free kick. You might give the Mariners the height advantage here. Donachie and Niedermeyer the obvious targets, but delivery like that will always be keeper's ball. Mariners coach Alan Stajic was quick to mention set-piece defence and the deficiencies that the Mariners had in it against Perth Glory this time a week ago. Broxham commits a foul here. Victory have a clear advantage in possession early. And passes like that from Sam Graham are simply going to donate the ball back. Kevin Muscat still talking to the fourth official about the previous foul, Daniel Elder, on the end of it.
Daniel Elder on the end of the foul or the end of the spray?
On the end of the spray.
Better say the questioning.
It's always very relaxed pre-game, Kevin Muscat, but as soon as the whistle goes, he's very much sharply into character. Broxham's pass, Tracy left and maybe expecting a teammate to be there. Instead, Melling. Now Payne, the former Victory man, but that pass goes behind Clisby. Starting to think maybe the Mariners didn't watch last night's match because quite a few have lost their feet through 11.5 minutes.
Well, the bigger problem there was that Jack Clisby just didn't even look at the ball. He was just running.
Tracy caught by Karajan this time. Donachie, Honda in space. Melling's just chasing him here. Honda! Good save by Kennedy. And it's set up, it's still on for Troisi, who slices over.
Well, I think Keisuke Honda's form has plateaued a little bit. Hasn't been great in Asia for the victory, and it's generally a little bit flatter than the start of the season, but not so here. Oh, that is just brilliant play all round. The drive and the power and the technique from Honda was first class. The save from Kennedy, outstanding. Maligned this season, Ben Kennedy, for poor form. Not in evidence there. Great work by both footballers. Great action.
That behind Honda shot of how much swerve there was on the ball as well. Kennedy judged it just right with his dive. Great pictures. The first real big moment in the game for victory to score. Pick Karajan's pocket. Troisi surrounded by white shirts. Ralbaena just crashes through. Barbarouses have swapped in the front three. Toivonen's now on the right side. Barbarouses on the left. Toivonen just drifts up here to get involved. Troisi to Barbarouses. Matt Miller with a slight challenge.
Well, that's very good defensive set from the Central Coast Mariners. Really good compact setup. Back four was holding a decent line, and the gap between the back four and the front players was minimal. Midfield compacted nicely. Very well done from the Central Coast, and winning the turnover in the end.
Miller up for the header. Niedermeyer opted to clear rather than try to usher the ball out. It's all victory. Graham, just a hit and hope. Niedermeyer. Potamitis was trying to challenge Toivonen. Baena to Barbarouses. Flag stays down. Barbarouses against Miller. Bending it into the path of Honda! And half the ground went up as it rippled the side netting.
Well, I mean, Keisuke Honda did a great job to get here. He waddles around like waterfowl a lot of the time. There he is, just coming through the centre circle there. Line ball for onside, offside, fair enough to play on. In line is the same as onside. Barbarouses sees the great Japanese player, and in that moment he opens up with two strides and gets so close. And if Barbarouses can just measure this ball a little bit more accurately, it's 1-0 to victory. Great action again. Just a slight drop in accuracy from that pass from Barbarouses, but a great run from Honda out of midfield.
Starting to feel like a goal is inevitable. The last time Melbourne Victory didn't score against Central Coast was all the way back in 2013, round 8. So we've spoken about their unbeaten run and their winning streak. Well, their scoring streak is just as long. It does feel as though they are honing in, breaking the deadlock here. Broxham. Poole. Niedermeyer's got to go. Matt Miller's quick, but opted to chase the ball rather than the man. Acton, at the last possible moment, gets it away. Brave from Aspropotomitis. Simon appeared to lead with his arm. Niedermeyer clears regardless.
Great pass out of defence from Niedermeyer. Wow, that was special.
And now Toivonen trying to turn defence into attack. Slips it for Barbarouses, and not for the first time Ben Kennedy is down at his feet.
Well, so positive from Melbourne Victory, including that hooked pass over his shoulder from Niedermeyer. That set the tone for that little breakaway. Ben Kennedy in the Central Coast goal reacted superbly to nullify Barbarouses. Great work from the German. Some robust defending in the air. That was the second such contributions, and that is not just a hit and hope. He knew where Troisi was. And then Troisi just says, well, I'm just going to continue this, as does Toivonen. Beautiful, incisive pass. And excellent goalkeeping again. It's great football here this evening so far at AAMI Park.
Kevin Muscat giving an instruction to Elvis Kamsoba. Ben Kennedy's come over to speak to the Mariners sideline. The doctor and the physio are both out assessing Jonathan Aspropotomitis here. Appears to be...
I think this was probably from a high boot from KSK Honda in the centre circle. Accidental. But KSK went to win the ball with his foot high, and from his blind side, Aspro came through. Real determination. Speaking of using the contracted form of his surname, he probably wouldn't mind an Aspro at the moment.
It might be what they're reaching for right here. No, instead it's a bit of cream. Here's another look at it.
You can see Honda's got his back to him, and that's definitely where the nick took place. But he soldiered on. Straight away to play. Well done by the youngster.
Of course, he has only recently returned to regular starting after tearing his ACL in the National Youth League Grand Final of 2018 when he was at Western Sydney Wanderers. So he's rehabbed that capably enough. Really has come back without missing a beat. Here's another look at the high boots.
Well, he's had that attention well before the dying stages of the second half, which is when the flocks of seagulls arrive, at which point you'd imagine he could easily confuse his wound with calling card of one of the seagulls.
I mean,
if you know what I mean.
I hope you're jinxing it. Like, I'm just looking out, there's one or two around. Okay, yeah, no, they're here. I was hoping they may not descend on us at any point, really. There's a good crowd in. Top tier on both sides. With a reasonable contingent of victory support. And they are generating a good atmosphere here as the home side has teased the opening goal, but not quite scored it. Now Central Coast will try to build an attack of their own through a former victory man in Connor Payne. They waited for Karajan. The cross, honing in on Matt Simon, who grappled too much of the defender.
You know, come on, really? How do you get a free kick out of that? Just trying to make space. He was doing nothing to Donachie that Donachie wasn't doing in return. It's a cop-out call to penalise strikers for that. When would you see a referee going against the defender in that situation?
Never.
Like never.
The whistle had gone before Simon was even able to really make much of his header. But as 20 minutes have ticked over, the Mariners have a clean slate for now. 0-0 the score. Niedermeyer falling off balance, but Matt Simon missed the ball. Donachie was there to clean up. James Troisi as runners break. Barbarouses. The Pistons are pumping as he feeds it to Toivonen, and now Kamsoba. Back to Toivonen! What a gorgeous goal! Melbourne Victory take the lead with the style and class that their play so far has deserved.
Well, a very upbeat opening 20 minutes of A-League football has delivered a goal to match. They've shown great signs so far this evening, the defending champions. And the Mariners have defended well as a block, but they've been opened up here like a hot knife through butter. Pass, move, finish. Superb from Melbourne Victory.
Barbarouses saw the run of Toivonen, and Elvis Kamsoba, just a deft touch. And then Toivonen, one to control and one to stroke it into the back of the nets.
Well, that is football the way it's to be played. He can play the game too. Ola Toivonen. Just a beautiful, beautiful goal against a willing opponent here so far this evening, the Central Coast.
12 and 18 in the A-League for Toivonen. The Central Coast Mariners have been forced into an early change as Michael McGlinchey goes off. Mario Chabot, who has had an interesting week on social media, throwing his support behind Israel Folau, comes into the game, and now we'll see if his football can do the talking. So now that the Mariners' defence has been breached, how's their fortitude to try and hold firm and not let the game get out of control? Clisby. Matt Miller. Deflected pass. Ralbaena is there. Honda trying to thread the eye of the needle for Barbarouses. Deng went to ground, and Clisby in a foot race against Barbarouses leads him to the ball. Deng. Too shallow. Sam Graham heads it away without Toivonen in the equation. Honda. Kamsova. Tried for the one-touch pass, but Troisi not on the same wavelength that time. Victory recycle play and go again. Kamsova buzzing around, full of confidence. And it flashes through the 6-yard box. Clisby clears.
We don't know how well Elvis Kamsova is going as an NPL graduate into A-League football. Seasoned internationals are not even thinking twice before they give him the ball. This was the last one. Toivonen, look, receive, who's on? Elvis, have it. If Elvis hasn't won their approval by the way he's conducted himself, I guarantee you those passes aren't as forthcoming from players with these CVs. It's a great reflection on the ground that Elvis Kamsova has made. There's again Toivonen.
Kamsova couldn't quite keep it this time. Miller nicked it off him. Chabot with it all to do, and Niedermeyer mops up.
And I don't say that, Theo, just to clarify that players get spiteful. It's a matter of trust in your teammate.
There seems to be a lot of trust with Victory now on song. Kamsova! Nearly! And he's appealing for a corner kick. That is indeed the decision.
Well, they're trusting him with the ball. If he scores here, they'll trust him with their life. But he can't quite nail it. You have to credit the defending. Good, desperate defending, but they're finding it almost impossible at the moment at the Central Coast to stop the Victory onslaught. Intelligent cutback from Barbarouses, and Matt Miller's just there. That's all he is. He's there, off balance. Speculative leg thrown out defensively, and Kamsova can't negotiate. Needs to. Should be 2-0.
Duel would have been Avondale against South Melbourne last season. Now it's Victory against Mariners. Kamsova against Miller. And Elvis is at the fall again, but the challenge from Connor Payne won the ball away. And Chabot, the most advanced Mariner, just running for the sideline and goes subtly on the grab of the shirt there from Ralbaena.
And allowed to get away with it. Chris Beath says that's okay. Yep. You can pull a shirt back with no other intent. Chabot's got a lot of work to do, but why is that even for a second acceptable?
Didn't seem like the most necessary foul to commit.
And that's the other point.
Lone attacker running towards the sideline.
But what we were denied was Chabot versus the last offender. The crowd were denied.
Melling roosts it long and diagonal. Cool. He's going to turn and face Connor Payne. He's played it behind Matt Miller. Has to backtrack and retrieve the ball. Hull, Miller, great run, but not a great touch, and it's put behind.
Good football, really good football. Apart from the pass behind Matt Miller, which stopped the first attack, as you called, They regrouped nicely, the Mariners. A beautiful 1-2, so dangerous as an option. Matt Miller with that give and go down the right-hand side. Wonderful tracking back from Cam Sober to slide in and hit the ball out for the corner.
And so it's the first Mariners corner of the game to be taken by Clisby. Up went Broxham. Down stayed Barbarouses. Miller. Payne. Melling. Shabbat.
Forward.
Matt Simon. Miller's his outlet. Knocks it to Payne. Houle wants it at the edge of the box. Houle against Deng. Cuts wide, but then presented it to Honda. Honda's pass to Barbarouses. Spot on. Deng slipping, held off Cheval. Niedermeyer to Broxham. Barbarouses sees Troisi. Broxham is making the run. Troisi on it. Now Toivonen in the gap between midfield and defence. He's put on his backside as he gets back up. The ball's in the vicinity. More interested in the ref. Toivonen, but now he's back engaged. Fans applaud Victory keeping the attack going. It's a long chain of passes that Victory have kept the ball. Mariners just trying to hold their ground at the moment. As Deng slides it to Cam Sober. And Cam Sober slipped past Graham and then slipped himself.
He wins the corner, though. It's superb play. You know what started this? But it wasn't the first pass. It was the effort from Troisi to keep the ball in on the near touchline. Appreciated by the fans. Then a sequence of passes releases Cam Sober, who was ripped off by the slip, but still wins the corner. And in that build-up, an honourable mention to James Donachie, who's having his best game on return to Melbourne Victory. Looking very good at centre-half for the home team.
Trying to attack Honda's delivery here. Ended up closest to Deng of the Victory players. And play is whistled dead because there's a Mariner down. That is Matt Simon. Keep an eye on the number 19 here. Looks as though Niedermeyer's collected him there. So as Simon gets back to his feet, it's a chance to go to pitch level and check in with Michael Zappone.
Yeah, it's quite willing out there, isn't it, boys? And we saw Elvis Cansova involved in a clash with Michael McGlinchey earlier. I had a chat to the Central Coast Mariners bench, and the news of Michael McGlinchey is that he's injured his metatarsal. You saw the clash there, Cansova just catching him on the top of the foot, and he was in a lot of pain after that. Cansova picking up a yellow card, and McGlinchey just wasn't able to put any weight on it.
Thanks, Zappers. Well, that is a worry. Metatarsal, a word and a part of the body made famous by David Beckham in the lead up to the 2002 World Cup. It's become synonymous with time out of the game, so we'll have to wait and see what the assessment is. But McGlinchey injured and out of the action early. That was in just the 3rd minute. We've got another Mariner down here, Connor Payne. And it's going to be a booking for Ola Toivonen, who has talked his way into Chris Beath's book.
I think it's a knee in the buttock for Connor Payne. quite sure why Toivonen felt like he needed to get involved. It was a hugely controversial moment. He's played so well today, the Swede, as he's done most times this season for Victory. Wonderful addition to the league.
Just his 3rd yellow card of the season as well, so for a player that often gets into a dialogue with the referee, Chris Beath has drawn the line on him pretty early. Hull, misdirected pass. Troisi, well, being grabbed, free kick. Broxham leads Connor Payne down to the corner and wins a corner.
Well, that's a wonderful dividend for Lee Broxham, who tried as he might, wasn't looking like he was going to get out of that situation. Carrying the ball deep into Mariners territory down the left flank. Corner is a great result, considering everything.
Honda taking the corners from both sides. Simon up for the header. And there appears to have been a foul on Andrew Hull underneath that high ball.
They're under intense pressure, though. The Mariners' defence, these corners coming in, and you don't often see it, Teo, in football nowadays. You don't see an onrush of players moving at great speed to try and get on the end of a cross. It does make it very difficult to defend, and high-speed collisions can be a result. The Mariners have held on well in the face of that.
Miller's up for the header here, as is Simon, and it's going to spill to Connor Payne. Payne whips it straight onto the head of Deng. Courageous from Melling, who led Troisi to the ball. And then Barbarouses was back to help out, and Toivonen with Troisi. Camsoba to Barbarouses. Broxham surveys the scene. Camsoba is going to knock it back to Niedermeyer. Donachie. Victory ahead via Ola Toivonen's goal, 1-0. As we tick over 35 minutes, 10 to go, plus stoppage until half-time. Clisby leaves it for Hull. Mariners in search of an equalizer, but that tumble is going to end up with a victory throw. A lot of conjecture here. Matt Simon and Georg Niedermeyer talking to each other. Deng just gets on with the game.
Well, I think it was Baena who was suggesting he'd been tampered with. Niedermeyer went in on his behalf.
Chabot to Karajan. Mariners working their way backwards to go forwards. It's two loping players after the ball here, and Niedermeyer just keeps Matt Simon contained.
It's an error from Thomas Deng, a rare thing. He's been playing very well. Lost possession there needlessly. Good press from the Mariners, who haven't gone back into their shell after conceding that goal. Actually, probably more apt to say having that goal scored against them. It wasn't as though it was a concession from the Mariners. They were just outplayed summarily by a beautiful attack from Melbourne Victory.
Having had one corner, now for a wide set piece. Andrew Hall isn't even going to aim for the pack, he's aiming for Payne. Now Connor Payne with a floater, will fall squarely in the pack, and no power on Matt Simon's header out of it. Victory will try to catch the Mariners out as a result. Honda with Barbarouses on his outside, uses him now. Kamsoba went for the DiCanio-style scissor kick, and well, he got up to the ball, but no progress once it met his boot. Victory trying to double their 1-0 advantage. Through the right channel they go. Honda. Step over against Chabot. Barbarouses. And gripped onto by Kennedy.
Well, Honda setting up Chabot nicely, jinking inside, and just didn't get the angle back on the ball for Barbarouses. I'm assuming he was looking for Toivonen on the far post.
Payne to Miller. Only Simon waits in the box. Miller. Now there's a couple to aim for. Poole gets the touch, but not to a teammate. Ralbaina clears. Aspropotomitis to Deng. Shouting at his defence to push up, to keep the ball moving. Honda. Barbarouses. Troisi, a good run. Set Karajan slip sliding. Honda. And Aspro, even with that head knock, not afraid to lean in. And the Mariners won't escape.
Donachie won that pure determination. He was completely committed to win that. It was a really good performance from Donachie so far, forcing the foul from Matt Simon. Defended, the Mariners defending, stretched again, but holding on.
Troisi and Kamsoba trying to combine. Karajan gets a boot in. Connor Payne. Just a kick to clear. No one home for Central Coast.
And then Connor Payne says to Andrew Hall, "Where are you? What do you mean you can't get it?"
Melling.
Victory have been running the Mariners ragged so far. Just ticking over for 40 minutes. Could easily be a bigger deficit than there is. The Mariners should take heart on that basis.
Payne this time slides it a little bit narrow. Vicious attempt to find Matt Simon. Central Coast forced into that early change. Michael McGlinchey with a metatarsal injury, replaced by Mario Chabot. There's the man that fouled him, Kamsoba. Troisi off the chest. And then in his eagerness to hurry the ball on, didn't have any real shape on the pass.
They just rushed that, unfortunately, but definitely being urged by their coach to play quickly. Taking that a little bit too literally. James Troisi. Beautiful touch from Kamsoba to release him.
Clearance hits Honda, and now Barbarouses can turn and face. Mariners are scrambling as Troisi is denied by a good save. Ben Kennedy implores his defenders, "Where were you?" He's saved the Mariners' blushes and kept the damage to 1. Wave after wave of Victory attack at the moment. Can Central Coast make it to half-time? Only a goal down. Troisi sees Barbarouses. Clisby goes to ground. Toivonen, we left it for Kamsoba. Elvis to Barbarouses. They're all deferring the responsibility here. in the end, no shot is taken. Too unselfish from Toivonen. It's Barbarouses to Deng. Score here, and it's a moot point. Neat touch from Baena. Troisi drives it into the shins of Melling. Georg Niedermeyer to Keske Honda. Calms things down. Pass hits Hall. Turning away from Honda. Bisbee just ambling forward. Pull to Payne. He lifts across to Simon. Good touch. Goes to ground. The assistant referee's flagging, though, and it's offside. The referee, Chris Beath, is making a beeline to Jonathan Aspropotamidis. So just assess his head. In the meantime, the Simon offside.
Yep, just. It's a good call. He was claiming he was pulled back by Niedermeyer, and if he was onside, the ref would have had a decision to make, because it did look to me like Niedermeyer had a little bit of a tug at the shirt of Matt Simon.
So play's going to restart, I think, from this offside. In the meantime, Jonathan Aspropotamidis has walked over to the sidelines. There's the line. Lee Broxham just a step away from Simon. So head treatment continues for Aspropotamidis. They didn't go for the full bandage, just the cream. And a minute away from stoppage and then half-time. You wonder how costly this could be for the Mariners to be a man down. Just get him patched up any old way and then do the full treatment in the rooms. Melling is tucked into centre back in the meantime. He's on the end of this long ball. Karajan. Deng. Aspro sprints back on. Latest round of treatment completed for him. Ball will find the hands of Ben Kennedy. There were two curtain raisers here at AAMI Park today, the School Sport Victoria finals. So it's been a busy pitch, this one. Maribyrnong Sports College won both the games, beating Rowville Sports Academy in the women's final, or the girls' final, and then John Faulkner College in the boys' final. We're going to have 4 additional minutes here of stoppage time. As Troisi puts it on the head of Sam Graham. Honda, take 2 for Troisi, and this time the low round straight to the keeper.
Just playing some fabulous stuff, lacking that task. Way too many times, I'd suggest, for Victory's liking. The game could be out of reach in some senses. Just playing so beautifully to get the ball up there. The other truth needs to be said is that Ben Kennedy has saved brilliantly at least twice. And in a few other occasions when plenty on offer, the pass from Victory finally has been poor.
Miller. Jinking at Cam Sober and then just tries to push him out of the way. His path is blocked by Broxham. Karajan. Deng's header, not conclusive. Invites Matt Simon on. He protected the ball very well, but gave it straight to Clisby. Melling. Miller is going to have to hurry here as the ball skids on. And he's almost able to leave Elvis Cam Sober. Instead, he left behind the ball. just got a sniff, but Sam Graham was on him. And the push on Hull means it's a Mariners free kick. Shabao. The outstretched arms, generally the body language of a player who doesn't have an open pass. Possession rather tamely yielded back to the Victory, and then that foul will make it a formality. Has come a long way out of his penalty area to take this restart. Graham clambering over Toivonen. Cam Sober trying to turn the tables on Matt Miller. The crowd appreciates the move on Hull, but he was going the wrong way. Into the last of 4 allocated minutes to finish the first half. Toivonen's goal, the difference between the teams at present. To scrap and scramble for the ball on various fronts through the midfield third. Victory will have to be good to make the most of these final 15 seconds. And that square pass, well, Matt Simon bailed rather than go thundering through Lee Broxham. And so that brings the first half to a close. A goal that was beautiful in its construction, and excellent in its execution from Ola Toivonen. It is only the one, though, and the Central Coast Mariners have shown enough signs of life to suggest that Victory will need more. Half-time, Melbourne Victory 1, Central Coast Mariners 0.
Yeah, thank you, Teo. An entertaining first half. Melbourne Victory dominating, gents. Archie Thompson, Adrian Leo with me. Will Kevin Muscat be ruining some of those missed opportunities? Ben Kennedy has been outstanding. Something's in the water here this weekend for goalkeepers.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, look, it was an entertaining first half. I thought for large parts of that, Central Coast seemed comfortable, but you could see the quality of Victory, for instance, in that goal, that build-up. But they just got to keep discipline, Central Coast. I mean, the inexperience of that central defence, you can almost sense is going to play a big part in this game.
Elvis Cansoba has been sensational. Adrian Leo, he's only had 12 games for Melbourne Victory. Tonight, his 5th start. So seems like he's been here for a lot longer than that.
Yeah, Muskie spoke about him before the game and, spoke about his energy, and that's what they needed from him. And, he's provided that. He's been, fantastic. The fans get excited every time he gets near the ball. Had that fantastic opportunity. And also down the other end here, defending like this, it was, fantastic work and, playing like a seasoned pro.
Yeah. Archie, I know you were riding every move when you were down here in the last 5 minutes. What do you like about him?
I like his unpredictability. I mean, that's what you want from your strikers. You want them to be so for a defender, just doesn't know where he's going to go. He's still very raw, but I think he's made that transition from MPL to A-League very quickly, and he's an exciting player to watch.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing him in the second half. Plenty more to come after this break. Don't go away. Melbourne Victory versus the Central Coast Mariners here at AAMI Park. And then you... The Central Coast Mariners up against it, against the Melbourne Victory this afternoon. Victory looking to extend their 17-game undefeated run against the Mariners. They lead 1-0 at half-time. Joining me, Archie Thompson and Adrian Leah. And gents, Victory dominated as we expect that they would. And Ola Toivonen, we've seen him this season be an outstanding acquisition for this side, Archie. He took his goal beautifully, didn't he?
Yeah, we talk about him as a striker being very economical. When he gets an opportunity, he takes it normally. I think he's been a little bit quiet over the last few weeks. That might be due to the workload that these players have to go through with travel, ACL. But his hold-up play, his awareness around, it's a joy to watch. And young players out there that want to be strikers, they should watch this guy because his awareness, he doesn't just score goals, he brings other players in. And, we're talking about Cam Sobo, I thought he was outstanding, but he's only going to develop and learn from players like Toivonen and players like Honda. And that's, I think, the bonus thing or quality thing to have when you've got these foreigners that our players can learn from them, and you can learn a lot from Toivonen.
Perhaps more beautiful about that goal, Ado, was the lead up to it. Costa Barbarouses started it, and that passing move was really difficult to defend against.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and Musk would be very happy with that. It started at Donachie winning it back at the back and right through the midfield. Nice little 1-2s. Arch touched on Cam Sober and put it on a plate for Toivonen, and when you got that quality, you saw how calm he was in front of goal, and he wasn't missing that one.
Speak of quality, Keisuke Honda is another bit of quality that's been added to the Melbourne Victory squad this year. He was involved in a lot of good things that Melbourne Victory created, including this first chance, another great save from Ben Kennedy, as we spoke of earlier. You talk about players who've been a little bit down on their form. Keisuke Honda probably fits into that bracket, Archie, but he's been pretty good in his first 45.
Well, I think because he came into the start of the season, he was on fire. And he set such a high benchmark. And, sometimes players go on in the lulls where they can't sustain that sort of level of consistency. But, he's had injuries and that. But I think what I've seen over this side over the season is that a lot of the emphasis was Honda in creating a lot of things. I think a lot of the players are now starting to take ownership of it. And they're actually more rounded, I think, as a team, where they're not depending on just one player. They're actually playing as a team. I think that's been a highlight of Melbourne Victory.
Kennedy keeping James Troisi out then as well. Ado, how can they get back into this game? What would the message be from Alan Stajic at half-time?
I think Stajic should be quite comfortable with how they've played. Obviously, Victory have created a few chances, but they've defended quite well. They've sat a little bit deeper. They've let Victory come to them, and I suppose their game plan is to hit them on the counter and try and get something off the counter. So Victory needs to stay aware. I still think there's more goals in them, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. All
right, plenty more to come here on Fox Sports tonight, including potentially the Premiers. The Premiers plate is up for grabs. Should Perth Glory grab the 3 points? Let's get a preview on the team news for this one. We say good evening to Josh Garlop.
Sydney FC dropping points last night mean there's a chance for history to be made here at HBF Park. If Perth come away with the win, they'll have claimed the Premier's plate with 2 rounds to spare. And while the Jets sit 7th, they're coming to town with the rain, hoping to spoil the party. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight. For Perth, Chris Economides goes out of the side with his shoulder injury, while Diego Castro comes from a bench role into the starting lineup. In his wake, Fabio Ferreira takes his spot on the bench. For the Jets, Daniel Georgievski is the only omission, while Ronnie Vargas, the marquee for the Jets, there was speculation surrounding an ankle injury from last weekend's game. He starts on the bench, which means Ivan Vojica and Matthew Redenton take their spots in the starting lineup. So not long now until the start here at HBF Park. Around 15,000 expected here, despite the rain, but it's sure to be a huge night, and whether or not Perth can come away with a historic ending to this season.
Yeah, it's been a long time between drinks for the Perth Glory. We look forward to that one straight after this one at AAMI Park. Still plenty more action to come your way from Melbourne. It's Victory just in front at the moment by 1-0.
Victory fans grateful for Carl Valeri's career. Great to see some young supporters so enthusiastic as well. There are a couple of other young supporters. It's not quite bedtime yet. Still 45 minutes to go. And Central Coast Mariners will kick us off with Melbourne Victory leading 1-0 thanks to Ola Toivonen's goal. And that long aimless pass will slide out for an early goal kick as Andy Harper rejoins us in the broadcast booth.
That he does, Teo.
So, Central Coast, what do you think the halftime team talk may have entailed? Is it about damage limitation, or do you think...
No, I don't... Look, this current chapter of the existence of the Central Coast Mariners, and that is a hairdo and a half, by the way, looks like an opened, hard-boiled egg. And we've had plenty of descriptions. Is it paper mache? What's going on there? Easter hat parade day? Given the deplorable current chapter that this is for the Central Coast Mariners, I thought their first half was pretty robust against a team defending champions as they are.
Here's Cam Sober weaving through the left side
with a big point to prove after the Champions League failure, and it'll be a real cherry on the performance so far if Cam Sober can get a goal. Just skips through beautifully. He's such a dangerous player. He's really growing into this A-League gig, and a goal will, I'm sure, be the catalyst for plenty of promising attacking movements and reward. Yeah, but I think Alan Stajic will be relatively happy with the team's output.
Thomas Deng back to James Donachie. Niedermeyer to Cam Sober. Raul Baena. Lee Broxham to Keske Honda. As Popotamidis with that headgear to patch himself up after a high boot in the first half cut him open. Here's Jack Clisby. Matt Simon was breaking away from the ball. Sweeping out to Broxham. Toivonen. Back to Troisi. Honda, surrounded by Central Coast players in the end, but still had the presence of mind to win a throw. Melbourne Victory are the highest scoring second half team in the A-League with 27. Central Coast have the worst second half defence, having conceded 37 after half-time, so Victory can double their lead. It does not bode well for the Mariners. The longer they can hold it to one, the better their chances will be. Barbarouses trying to change all that. Honda, shooting range. The crowd urges him, but he doesn't pull the trigger. Barbarouses, Popotamidis did not get the final touch. Troisi did.
They're looking to walk the ball in on that occasion. Everyone of the Victory hue was urging Keisuke Honda to shoot once he'd opened the angle on the goal. In that instance, maybe a little too unselfish, because he pack a punch, as we saw in the first half. Case came under, forcing a great save by Ben Kennedy. It's an equally good sided goal to really pull the trigger.
Toivonen. Karajan, Mariners going the wrong way. Sam Graham, exchange of headers. Poole, just a little clip from Honda. Poole and Simon both had a lot of physical work to do, but do it they did. Now Payne to Miller on the overlap, deflected cross, and it needs a good save from Acton because Matt Simon was right there challenging. The fingertips of Acton keep the game at 1-0.
Well, Bernard turns and applauds now that the play's broken down. The deflection, it's threw everything up in the air, really, including the acrobatics of Matty Acton. It's a vital, vital pour away from the on-rushing Matt Simon. Well done, very well done.
The Mariners get a chance to press on. Simon, oh, he's been tripped, it's a penalty. Deng legs Simon, and the Mariners will go to the spot.
Well, it's a clear penalty. I don't think there's any intent from Tommy Deng, but you don't need to have intent with these. It's only handball that has to mean that determines the outcome. Accidental or not, he clips Matt Simon. It's a dead set penalty.
Well, the crowd are watching the replays here.
He clipped him. I mean, there's... Tell you.
Kevin Muscat's now exploded off his bench to...
Well, people, I mean, the point is they'll be looking at it VAR. So that's going on as we speak. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that he clipped him.
Chris Beath is the referee. And Chris Griffiths-Jones is VAR. This is the benefit of having a big, boisterous home crowd. You can try to plant some seeds of doubt. But the wisdom of crowds has not come through for Melbourne victory here. Maybe Matt Acton will. Matt Simon dusts himself off, ready to take the spot kick. Acton bounces on the line. And the tension builds as the referee makes sure everyone waits on the line. A chorus of boos for Matt Simon. Can he bring the Mariners level? Yes, he can. Matt Simon equalises. And he gives the shuckers to the Victory North Terrace as Central Coast Mariners draw level 1-1.
Well, it's a lifeline for the Mariners, who, on the evidence of the first half, could have been 3 or 4 down. But Thomas Deng has accidentally clipped Matt Simon, but it doesn't matter if it's an accident. Only handball needs to be intentional. And speaking of intentional, this is going straight to the back of the net. No placement, no inside netting. This is just full force of Matt Simon's law.
And so, this game is on terms. The Central Coast, who have not taken a point from AAMI Park since round 6, 2014, are level. And now, so contentious a matters, we're even haggling over kickoff, which is belatedly taken. That's Simon's 5th goal of the season. Starcic and Kevin Muscat watch on. Almost 10 minutes of second half expired. All to play for. And Simon putting himself about with a little grab on the shirt of Baena. Deng will be keen to make amends. Hall fouls Honda.
A decent shirt front from Andrew Hall, but plenty of willingness to win the ball. It's the technique of Kosuke Honda, too strong. It does sort of nice little bit of chili sauce on things here, doesn't it, Teo? And the Mariners full of belief at the moment.
This is the desire and the hunger that Mariners fans who've been through so much torment will be hardened to see as Clisby goes to ground here, and now it's a set piece in a dangerous position.
Well, on first inspection, I can't agree with that one. However, Clisby's played the ball into Thomas Deng and then run into it. Thomas Deng wins the ball, in fact. There's no foul. Thomas Deng takes the ball, thank you very much. Good defending. That was a poor one. A score from this, and there's no VAR review from a referee error.
Of course, the scope of VAR is only for the big decisions. So a free kick then. Clisby and Hall the options. It will be Hall. And he finds the head of Honda. Ball bounces as the jumping players miss it. Payne out of the traffic. Karajan. Melling tries to fashion to his own advantage, and then he lost his feet. And Raul Baena goes and gives him his opinion on the appeals for another penalty. Honda, can Victory move? Referee has to take evasive action. And so the attack continues with Toivonen. Broxham on the overlap.
A sweeping counter-attack, beautiful to watch. You know, under a little bit of intense pressure for that moment for the free kick, the Victory, but they gathered forces, they fought the ball away. And the little pass from Costa Barbaruzas into Honda was beautiful, and away they went, Victory sweeping upfield.
So Victory, who've been playing Thomas Deng at right back, are going to make a change. And the more regular custodian of that position, Storm Rue, will be coming on. Victory's first change of the night. Handshake with the gaffer as Deng goes to the bench. Rue comes on, but we've got Melling down.
Bit of blood for Jacob as well, I think.
So another clean-up job takes place. Here's where it happened.
That was well refereed. Players defending desperately. Jacob Melling losing his own feet, precipitated the fall into James Donachie. Well, as the temperature rises here, Teo, it's Victory have to tread very carefully. Toivonen, combustible character, already on a yellow card. Elvis Kamsoba. Fair to say less mercurial than Ola, but still sitting on that yellow card, and an errant decision.
So the corner takes place. Niedermeyer flicking to the edge of the box, and Away by Matt Simon, Central Coast's goal scorer. They remain down to 10 as Melling is treated in the wings. Cam Sober onto his right side and onto the head of Aspropotamidis. I wonder if Jacob Melling is saying to the trainers, give me the Aspro treatment, because he might have a head cut. That'll need to be patched up as well. Troisi in the meantime. Honda backtracking away. Baena to Rue. First involvement for the sub, and he was body checked by Andrew Hall. The referee does belatedly, perhaps with the assistance of some verbal communication from his assistants.
Well, if Andrew Hall's gone out of his way to block Storm Rue's return run, then that's got to be a yellow card, because the Mariners were opened up there. So let's look at this. The 1-2. Rue sizes him up. He turns and blocks him. I just, again, it's very generous refereeing in the A-League these days. Attack is punished. Defence, illegal defending is rewarded.
Honda takes the free kick, and Kennedy didn't know much about it. Even though Toivonen had an idea, he couldn't quite pull it off. Credit Kennedy with the save. Now the Mariners' defence still down a player. Will try to stand tall. Payne roaming through midfield. Poole as Clisby digs deep to make a run. Poole goes central, and Cam Sober anticipated it beautifully. And now the victory break. It's 3-on-3 if they're quick enough. Toivonen. Troisi. Cam Sober! Side netting! Nearly for Elvis.
The corner again. A sweeping, thrilling counter-attack. I mean, the Mariners asked a couple of questions, and that's what opened up the field. And then Costa lights the fuse. He bursts forward. Toivonen sizes things up nicely. Troisi with two options, and he goes for Elvis. And Katajan just slides in to deny Elvis a maiden goal in the A-League. It's thrilling counter-attacking by Melbourne Victory.
Jacob Melling is back on and is now wearing the number 62 and a rather large head bandage of his own. Credit to the Mariners trainers for getting him back on. They nearly conceded while down a player. And Elvis Cam Sober has taken a seat in back play. Now the victory physio is required for the first time in this game. Given the night he's had, it would be rather unfortunate if he can't go on here. He's come so close to scoring his first A-League goal on a couple of occasions now.
Denied by desperate defending. But his attacking contribution has been otherwise, but the victory machine going forward has been really, really good to watch tonight.
Well, the physio gave the universal symbol for a sub.
Barbarousa's one option. Troisi picks it up, then he's got two options. And this is Elvis's last. A telling moment of the contest.
You can see his personal exasperation that his body has let him down here. So Victory give the call to the bench. It's going to be Anthony Lesiotis to come on. All the subs were warming up behind the goal, so Lesiotis had to make a quick run around to the sidelines. That's why the final word from Kevin Muscat is holding up the game as much as anything. And it's a real shame, Andy, that Cam Sober's night comes to an end with an injury.
It is just great to watch. Becoming very popular here at Melbourne Victory very quickly. And why not?
And of course, just a couple of weeks away from finals. You hope it's not something that is going to potentially end his season. Clisby's header breaks to Toivonen. Over the shoulder to Troisi. Slight challenge from Karajan. Now Melling, wearing that number 62 shirt. To Hull. This is decent from the Mariners as Chabal strokes it out in front of Simon. The Boo Boys are on him, but he'll love that. His pass is picked off by Raul Baena. Toivonen against Graham. Baena. Honda. Baena once more. Troisi. And Graham, with a desperate clearance, has to re-find his feet, though.
That's ridiculous. Mate, there's scorpion kicks defending. Legs outstretched. Victory just cannot find that way through at the moment.
Now there is that extra level of urgency because the gap to Sydney FC, if they draw tonight, will stay at 4 points. Neat shimmy from Baena, almost outfoxed the Mariners' defence.
But it was good alert defending from Graham.
Hold-up play from Simon is good for Chabal. Matt Miller busting a gut down the wing. And he ran into the clutches of Lee Broxham, but gets back up protecting the ball. Payne was flat-footed. Toivonen. Karajan coming in from the blind side was crucial. Troisi.
Just not falling for Victory.
That was the youngster Lesiotis nearly.
Just hanging on the Mariners. I mean, Troisi is leading them all over the place, but still they hang on. Their last line defending, you've got to pay credit. The team's, or the league's worst defence this season is hanging on really strongly here. A severe test being put to them by the defending champions.
It's a fantastic spectacle, this. Just perpetual motion, the game at the moment. Broxham to Barbarouses. Does he have a pop? Wants to slide it to Honda instead. Rue on the overlap. And he does get to the ball. Graham got to the header. Broxham! And it nearly found the top corner.
Oh, it's breathtaking here, really. They're just a finish away from capping off some exhilarating football. Keisuke Honda asked a lot of Storm Rue, but he got there. And a dangerous ball back in from the right fullback. And DJ Brox steaming into the penalty area. The half volley he can't quite control and slices the shot wide.
Chris Booth points to his watch, just as a warning to Ben Kennedy. No subtlety in the foul for Poole. Jordan Murray has been walked up to the fourth official, so Central Coast getting ready to make their second change of the game. Honda. Troisi with a look-away pass that went straight to an opponent. Payne to Chabal. Troisi goes and makes immediate amends. Wins the ball back and now looks to use it well this time. Flag stays down on Barbarouses. No, it has gone up. Late flag, offside.
Unfortunately for Victory, James Troisi didn't see Keisuke Honda on the right edge of the penalty area. In a lot of space. Would have been a very makeable pass for him. Outstanding tonight. Look at that commitment. Wins the ball and leads the attack. And at this point, he's looking, but just here, the other side of the D is Keisuke Honda, completely free. Superb performance so far from James Troisi. Just been impossible for the Mariners to contain.
Connor Payne has made his way off around the outer side of the pitch. Jordan Murray comes on. Donachie up for the header, off the shoulder of Barbarouses. Karajan being a nuisance here, lying on the ball. Got the desired result though. Central Coast defence back in position. Root takes the ball in stride. Honda. Root. And Honda. Barbarouses to Storm Root to Honda. One pass, too many. Matt Simon. Open field behind him, and Matt Miller will look to exploit it. He's got Jordan Murray, and now Simon making a run. Miller to Murray. Broxham holds him up. Jordan Murray, what tricks has he got in his locker? An ugly foul.
Well, speaking of exciting, so too was that from the Mariners as Matt Simon spread the ball for the on-rushing Matt Miller. I mean, anything could have happened there. He's caused teams plenty of trouble this year, Miller. And the Victory, under pressure themselves, managed to get players back. Needlessly, Jordan Murray lets the pressure off. Great burst from Miller. Defended well, the Mariners. And Victory want to watch those counter-attacking moments. There's enough belief in this Central Coast team to score from one of those if Victory don't put them away.
And as we go into the final 20 minutes, Central Coast continue to roll the dice, try their luck. As you can see there, the game is definitely balanced out to an extent. Melling and the Bandage brothers combine. Still Melling. Matt Miller trying to round Broxham. The touchline loomed large, but it is a corner.
Again, great pressure by Matt Miller. Nicely found by Melling. And the recovery of Lee Broxham, excellent.
As you can see there, Perth Glory going for the Premier's plate later this evening. Stick around, Hyundai A-League, live and exclusive on Fox Sports. Newcastle Jets, last chance saloon for them. It's almost a mathematical impossibility, the top six. What a way to shake things up if they were to go to Perth and spoil the party. Here's Clisby's corner. Toivonen with a towering header. Clisby back in. Melling up. Toivonen. Lesiotis sliced it. Broxham. And clever from Broxham. And Toivonen defending a second to go. Quick as a flash, moving forward. He can't split the defenders to find Barbarouses. Matt Miller with a return long pass. And Acton at the edge of his area takes charge.
Well, it is punch and counter punch. It is just going from end to end here and not just pumping the ball long end to end. It's really incisive passing and movement. Most of it's coming from the Victory. I don't think it's wrong to say that, but the Mariners offering plenty as well when they get the chance. It's just such a good game to watch. It's been a great round of league action. Actually, really good games across the weekend, and one to come after this. And as you rightly say, the Jets must win to maintain any hope whatsoever. So that puts that game into a particular reference.
Errant pass here. As we take a look at the table, Sydney FC fans will be smiling if this scoreline holds, because it would put them 4 points clear of Melbourne Victory. First and second get a weekend off and home semi-finals. Melbourne Victory just looked like a home banker and is proving to be anything but. Clisby. And Broxham's collapse to the turf is met with a foul call. It high. Matt Miller heads it away. Remaining available subs. Victory have got Kenny Athew and Josh Hope of their outfielders. The Mariners have got Stephen Mallon and Lewis Miller. Under a long way from the penalty area, but Baena is making a run. And the pass out in front of Barbarouses, swept upon by the keeper.
Again, just a lack of angle. The opening was made, lack of angle on the ball for Barbarouses, and now it's Miller again leading the charge.
What an engine on Matt Miller. And he ended up just running without any real direction or purpose. Curving pass, asking questions of Aspropotometis, but he lifts it high into his keeper's arms.
A little bit rushed, that one, from Victory. Melling couldn't make the intercept. Maybe just sort of measured that one a little bit more. It was all a bit frantic, and this is, I guess, a test for Victory as the clock ticks away. There's still plenty of football to be played in this, but players are aware of time running out and the frustration may be built, so maybe they run the risk of rushing attacks more so than is necessary. Certainly displayed enough quality tonight, Melbourne Victory, to believe that they can do this in normal steam. But the stakes are rising. 2 rounds and 15 minutes to go in the regular season for Melbourne Victory.
The longer it stays level, the greater the tension in the air as they go on the attack. Honda, Toivonen. There's one man to make it happen. Baena to Toivonen to Honda. Mariners pack the penalty area. Lesiotis. Youngster holds his ground. Niedermeyer. Forcefully hit. Hard to control for Storm Roux. Troisi breaks central. Honda. It's all in close quarters here for Melbourne Victory. Troisi puts it onto the head of Miller. Now Jordan Murray, he's put it behind Mario Chabau. So Victory can reload and go again. Troisi, Honda. Baena. Roel Baena skies that chance.
It's tight, tack defence, good touches. Baena thinks, well, we've got to at some time get a shot on goal, and you can't criticise the Spaniard for taking the initiative, but Honda growing in prominence. Troisi's been outstanding. Baena turning, getting that half yard and shooting.
Third and final change for the Mariners. Andrew Hull comes off. Scored 2 last start against the Victory, but no goal tonight. And the Irishman, Stephen Mallon, that left peg of his, comes on. All 3 changes effected for the Mariners. Chance to draw breath. It's been sensational stuff this second half. Mariners equalising through Matt Simon's penalty. 1 and scored by the player. Mallon, first involvement is to foul Storm Roux. That's the scene that Keisuke Honda looks at now. Kevin Muscat shouting instructions and trying to manoeuvre players from the touchline. Honda goes to Troisi. Barbarouses. First touch was good. On the turn and turned in! Victory take the lead! Georg Niedermeyer celebrates with Keisuke Honda. And the home fans, the relief pours out as Victory go 2-1 up.
Well, there was another moment when you thought the impressive free kick variation was going to come up short because Costa Barbarouses has touched just slightly, lets him down here. But he recoups well, does Costa. And Niedermeyer, the German, takes it off the head of Toivonen, the Swede, to make it 2-1. It's a great reaction from the Victory. They at least deserve the lead. And the Mariners' resistance, brave as it's been, is now broken.
Crucial time to score his first A-League goal. Georg Niedermeyer rising to volley in. And with just over 10 minutes to go, is there another response from Central Coast? Or is that the 3 points that Melbourne Victory might have been forgiven for thinking would come so much easier? Troisi with a bit between the teeth. Good challenge from Melling.
Well, that's a great challenge. Great chase from Melling. Two South Australians going toe-to-toe, and Troisi's been barnstorming today, but he had the jump on Jacob Melling. Credit to Jacob, he managed to reel him in at least close enough to get that sliding tackle. It was a great little exercise. And what a game it's been here this evening.
Karajan. Honda chesting down. Went to ground, no foul. Stephen Mallon. Can he conjure up the right cross? And straight into the keeper's gloves. And so, with that goal, Melbourne Victory now press back to within 2 points of Sydney FC, and second place remains just one slip up from Sydney away.
And 2 rounds to go, 6 points to play for. And as people race up and down with their eyes across that table, that'll bring Newcastle's match on 29, 3 points, puts them 5 behind Melbourne City with 6 points to play for. That's why anything less than a win for Newcastle in the game that follows immediately this one, and it's all over Red Rover for the Jets. And, not to mention, the Premier's Plate for Perth Border, which is probably, let's face it, the biggest story.
Troisi sends that one long and wide. And also it would mean, as anyone Starchich watches on, finals for the Wellington Phoenix at long last as well. Karajan. And Matt Simon is whistled for a foul before the ball had even entered the vicinity. Well captured there, as he just scragged James Donachie, really. Honda, Barbarouses. Swivels to send it to Baena. And then onto the chest of Karajan. Miller, not with his usual express pace, switches to Clisby. Hopeful ball, and Mallon won't be able to chase it. Fans chanting to each other. The north, south, east, west chant needs a decent attendance in for everyone to take part. That's just part of the feel-good factor of when there's a good attendance in at AAMI Park for the victory. And it has made such a difference because that pressure of expectation has been a big part of fueling victory on in this second half. Miller, Mallon, and still Miller. And it is a Mariners corner. So Mallon to take the set piece. Goes Murray, Graham. And Troisi not going to leave it to the assistant referee or the ref to decide whose ball. He just punts it away instead.
Well, full concentration required now for Melbourne victory. They haven't had the goals, but a superb performance in front of 16,000 fans. The Mariners have contributed mightily. The second goal for victory, maybe a little bit of oxygen's gone out of the Central Coast effort, which is exactly when Melbourne victory need to maintain 100% focus and not get stung from here.
Now, as the fans applaud themselves more than anything, of course, that north, south, east, west chant was born back at the old Olympic Park. Back in the first season of the A-League, they played the New Zealand Knights in the final game of the season. They were finishing second from bottom, nowhere near the top four, but when the fans did that chant around the ground, they gave birth to a tradition that's continued here tonight. Stephen Mallon wants to destroy that feel-good factor, though. Dancing around the challengers. Mallon! Great save by Acton.
Now this is the danger. Lesiotis, I think, just a little slow there to react. That is just quite brilliant, the goalkeeping from Matty Acton. Quite brilliant.
There is well and truly a sting in the tail of this game.
And he has made two dramatically important interventions today, Matt Acton.
And I suspect due to the blood that has stained Jonathan Aspropotomidis' shirt, he has been ordered to the sidelines. The kit man is standing ready with an alternative. No, he's not. It was a towel. I've been had. So they race desperately to kit him back up. In the meantime, an attacking corner. Can they score with 10? Karajan, just 3 minutes to go, plus stoppage. Graham. Shabao was just unable to get his feet back. Melling. Mallon has made a real impact since coming on. And he's against Honda here. Keisuke Honda wraps him up and takes the ball.
Toes play by Keisuke Honda. Important game for him tonight. It's been very good. There hasn't been really a poor player on the field, actually, Toes. Great to report. This was a highlight, a real highlight from Mallon off the bench. And that is as good a goalkeeping as you'll see. It's a beautiful strike. Brilliant from Matty Acton. And when you consider the circumstances as well, superb.
Aspropotomidis is back on, so he's now number 63. And to break open the emergency kits not once but twice tonight. Central Coast, the two players there, Melling and Aspropotomidis, in the same shot. Can they make all that pain worth it? Can they grab an equaliser, or can victory find a third? Maroussis against Graham. minute of regulation then. Toivonen. Barbarousis. Ran out of space. Niedermeyer, the solid header. His goal, the difference between the teams at the moment. Donaghy. Clisby. Karajan. Now Shabao. Jordan Murray as 5 additional minutes are shown on the 4th official's board. Karajan, or I think it was Clisby's touch that was the foul rather than Karajan.
He was nearly through again. Troisi. The big players for Victory have stood up today, indeed. Players from both teams have delivered mightily. It's been a great performance across the board, a thrilling game of football.
Barbarousis. Troisi. Too much on the return ball. Is ticked by without any threat on the Victory goal. Baena, caught from behind. Graham to Melling. Clisby needs an outlet. Matt Simon is striving to try and be that option, but Donaghy read the ball best. Honda combining with Toivonen. Honda. Ziotis. Speed points to his watch as Victory meandered down to take this throw. Keska Honda. Mariners midfield converges upon him. Barbarousis taken off his toes. Melling. Shabao has to commit. So Rue backtracks. Clisby. Stephen Mallon. Well, curious decision to go for the half cross, really. It's done well not to have conceded a goal kick, if nothing else. Booked, but not illegally, says the referee. Takes us into the final minute of the 5. There's Alan Starch's opinion on the contact on Mallet. Thisby. Donachie. Goes Melling. Honda into the path of Troisi. And not sure what the thinking was, but the result's a goal kick.
That was going to be Orlando Engelar, David Beckham, Timmy Cale in a derby swipe. Ben Kennedy was off his line.
Victory's hopes of finishing in the top 2 continue as they do win. They were made to earn it. And Georg Niedermayer's first goal means it's Melbourne Victory 2, Central Coast Mariners 1. Mariners will have